I think it has a trace quantity of everything. You know, it's both modern and vintage, given that you have the young Expendables. The stares are unusable. At this moment, you are on behalf of the young guns. I am here. Sylvester Stallone is more than merely a Hollywood star. He is the one responsible for Rocky and Rambo, two of the most well-known characters in movie history. From scenarios with a lot of movement to moving in his monologues, Stallone gave it his all for us. Additionally, when the Expendables provided, all the fans erupted when tough guys got together. But behind the scenes, a number of individuals were not given along. Stallone and Bruce Willis the situation simply turned tense. In fact, Stallone didn't say nothing. He departed, public with it, even made reference to it via Twitter. But what really happened between the two action stars and, what does a partnership look like today? Join us as we uncover the real reason behind Stallone's actions. Refused to continue working with Willis. But to understand the background, let's start from the beginning. A challenging beginning in Hell's Kitchen. Sylvester Stallone was born on July 6th in the harsh area of Hell in 1946 Kitchen, New York City. Life wasn't simple from the start. His mother, Jackie Stallone, a wrestler for women promoter, and his father, Frank Sr. Stallone, began his career as a hairstylist from Italy. His younger brother, Frank furthermore, Stallone would later become an actor and musician. At birth, things took a bad turn. Medical professionals must use forceps to deliver him, but something went wrong. A nerve in his face was fractured, causing the lower left section of his face was largely paralyzed. This is the cause. Stallone has a slurred speech and lips sagging. He experienced bullying as a child because of the way he spoke and looked. But instead of giving up, he turned to bodybuilding and serving as a means of developing confidence. Even his name has a history. His mother intended for him to be named Tyrone. Actor Tyrone Power is one of them. But his father changed to Sylvester. His nickname from childhood, Binky. Later on, he started using Mike since some of his classmates made fun of him, calling him foul-smelling. But regardless, whatever his name was, Stallone constantly wanted more from life. His formative years wasn't steady. He was placed in foster care, as a newborn in boarding homes and foster care. Then, after moving to Maryland, the family then to his father's business in Washington, D.C.'s mother established a beauty school and a gym for women. But again, things were different when his parents divorced. First, Stallone and his father lived together. But as one gets older, 15, he moved and remained in Philadelphia alongside his mom. That's when everything began to amazingly fascinating. A thrilling period in school and ambitious goals. You see, Stallone didn't. Specifically, enjoy your time in school. Actually, several pupils rated him the highest likely to be placed in an electric chair. That was how misinterpreted he was. But he kept on going. He went to Notre Dame Academy and Abraham Lincoln High School, Philadelphia School. Afterwards, he attended Charlotte Hall's Military Academy, Maryland. Then came college. He studied at Miami-Dade College for a while. After that, he spent 2 years working at the American College in Switzerland, but his love was acting. Consequently, in 1967, he returned to the U.S. to pursue a degree in drama at Miami University. He didn't graduate at that moment, but decades later, a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree was granted to him. He was praised for his performance, labor, and real-world experience. Although these days Stallone had little money. As a young man, he was trying to get a dream, but that dream persisted in his mind. Soon he would step onto the stage, but not the one he had imagined. Consequently, what was Stallone's collegiate transition? From plays to among his most well-known early films, battles, stage work, and a hazardous situation. Before becoming famous, Stallone did a lot of experimenting. At first, he used Mike Stallone as their stage name. At college, he even played the lead in a theater production. It was titled That Nice Boy in 1968. In 1969, a short independent film was produced by him. He called horses with his pal John Hertzfeld. but his first noteworthy job in a really unexpected way. In 1970, Stallone showed up in the softcore adult film, The Party of Kitty and Studs. He was just 2 days of work for $200. Why was it him? Because he lived in poverty and desperate. They expelled him and even slept in a bus stop for weeks. Stallone subsequently said, "It was either do or die. That movie or rob someone because I was the finish line, the ultimate end of my rope." Years later, the film was re-released. Italian Stallion was renamed to make money off of his fame. Furthermore, he participated in Ascor, a theatrical play that later became a motion picture. Furthermore, while living in New York, he shared an apartment with his love interest, Sasha Chak. She was a serveress at the time, assisting in providing for both of them. Stallone took on strange jobs like being a zoo employee and greeting a theater. They kicked him out of the theater for the ticket sales side gig. In spite of this, he often went to the library. He loved to read and had a fan of Edgar Allan Poe's writings. But achieving success still seemed far distant until an unexpected meeting at a little performance changed everything. A crucial part and the climb. In 1972, Stallone was almost letting go. He even made an effort to become an included in The Godfather, but was not given the task. Instead, he was featured in the comedy What's Up's setting physician. The star is Barbara Streisand. He had 2 minuscule elements and the majority, no one would even notice him. But later, during the performance of a brief play, a casting agent noticed him. The agent wondered Stallone would be perfect for the role. Stanley in The Lords of Flatbush. It became Ben Stallone's very first real leading role. The film had a spending limit, problems, and took years to finish. But finally, it was made public in 1974. This part gave Stallone some interest and persisted in his ambition to pursue a career in acting. Living. He had starred in while watching the movie No Place to Hide, which was later modified to Rebel. Even eventually, it was changed to become a parody, A Man Called Rainbow, which makes use of old plus new footage. It was a strange journey, but Stallone persisted, trying. Additionally, he has small roles in significant films like MASH*, Bananas, The Second Prisoner, and Clute Avenue. In one humorous example, Jack Lemmon's part in The Prisoner of Actually, Second Avenue Tackles and Mugs, he was thought to be a thief by Stallone. Stallone plays smaller parts in movies like Farewell, My Lovely, Capone, in addition to Death Race 2000. Furthermore, he appeared on televised shows like Police Story and K-Jack. Rumor has it that he went to Mandingo as well. That sequence, though, might have been left out. On Little by Little, Stallone moved on to shifting. His dream had not yet been realized, but he was getting closer. And soon he would write a Rocky script and it would all be different. How Rocky changed everything. Sylvester Stallone in the lead. Everything changed when Rocky started traveling in 1976, big screen. The film told the story of Rocky Balboa, a boxer from poverty, is given an opportunity to face the world champion. The Stallone had the notion after he saw Muhammad Ali and Chuck argue on 24 March, 1975. Inspired, he went back to his house and finished Rocky's first draft in just 3 days. Many believed the story was Stallone was inspired by Chuck Wepner, but denied it. Since we couldn't agree, we took legal action. The issue was later settled, privately. Furthermore, some assert that Rocky may have been affected by the movie, Someone Up There Likes the Book or Me, by the fighter Rocky Graziano. Stallone made an effort to promote the script, however. He had a state. It was his responsibility to lead. The studios were drawn to the story, but they wanted well-known individuals such as Burt or Robert Redford Reynolds. Stallone said he would not sell unless he was the star. After a number of talks, the authors agreed, although they'd cut back on the film's budget. Immediately after Rocky was ultimately made accessible, it became a massive effect. Critics gave it high marks. Roger Ebert claims that Stallone may even be next up as Marlon Brando. In 1977, Stallone turned into the third person in history to be the best and the greatest actor Oscar script. He had reached a distance from experiencing problems in New York. But Rocky was just the beginning. Soon, another noteworthy individual would take over the screen and make a living with blood, sweat, and movement. In 1982, Stallone presented yet another, massive the persona of John Rambo. First Blood. He played a soldier who was traumatized after a dispute. The film was captivating and sincere, and it started a new franchise. Stallone kept on performing. Rambo appeared in 5 films between 1982 and 2019. These movies developed into action movies. Classics. By 1984, Stallone had achieved stardom. On Hollywood's Walk of Fame. He wasn't not just an actor anymore. He stood for Hollywood-style action. In the 1980s, and he starred in a number of well-known films throughout the 1990s, including Cobra, Tango and Cash, Cliffhanger, The Demolition Man, and Specialist. These movies made him one of the most well-known paid celebs all over the world. There was once a famous rivalry between Stallone and Arnold, another iconic person in action, Schwarzenegger. Their admirers loved them. Compete. Both men were at the top of the list, globe of action. Afterward, Stallone returned to his conventional roles. He played Rocky once more, in Rocky Balboa, 2006, and came back as Rambo, 2008 in Rambo. Then he started a new television show. The harsh man's life on screen off-screen wasn't always smooth either. Lawsuits, disputes, and legal concerns. Stallone's experiences haven't all been courageous. He has also faced several legal battles and controversies. Among the earliest was February 2001. A woman named Margie Carr filed a complaint, claiming that Stallone sexually assaulted her at a gym in Santa Monica. Stallone's lawyer disputed. She asserted that she had previously sold Thestry for a tabloid. In 2007, however, customs officers in Australia found 48 vials of human growth hormone at a court hearing. Stallone's baggage on May 15th. He pled guilty to having the content and was charged accordingly. More problems surfaced in 2013 to light. Reports state that Stallone had paid a $2 million settlement in 1987 to his half-sister Toni Felitti, had accused him of being mistreated. His team claims that she was struggling with a drug addiction and trying to extort him. But her son, Ed Felitti, declared that she was believable and that she had discussed it several times before she died. In 2016, a lady accused Stallone of connecting her to his in a 3-way relationship bodyguard. While filming in Las Vegas, she was 16 years old in 1986. Stallone denied everything. Bridget, his ex-wife Nielsen, volunteered to help him, asserting that she was with him at the time. Another actor, David Mendenhall, also denied Stallone's bringing the girl to him. A different woman in 2017 stated that Stallone had sexually assaulted her in the 1990s in his workplace. Again, he denied the claim. According to his lawyer, the woman only made the assertion after one website rejected her narrative. Additionally, they stated that Stallone had a quick connected to her in 1987, but had 2 witnesses confirm the story was incorrect. June 2018, police in the Santa Monica case was moved to the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office. Although by October, the case had been dropped there was not enough evidence and no witnesses might bolster the claims. After that, Stallone's report was his own, asserting that a government official had been duped by the woman document. Eventually, Stallone has been commended and disagreement. From a hospital from bed after a fight to standing in courts, his background has been not at all normal, but there was one. The chapter of Stallone's life that stands out for both its action and its emotion. Complicated friendship with Bruce, another famous person, Willis. A friendship was the beginning, but things quickly grew explosive. Sylvester's friendship with Bruce Willis. Stallone and Bruce Willis were once one of the biggest action stars in the world, and they also have a close bond, grew closer once they teamed up for the film Expendables, 2010. The writing and directing of Stallone brought putting together the ideal action legends squad: Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Jet Li, many other things. Bruce Willis played Mr. Church, a mysterious CIA agent who used the team for dangerous activities. It was short, but powerful. Following the film's enormous success, Stallone made a follow-up. Willis, returning as Mr. Church in addition to the Expendables 2 appeared well. Their on-screen chemistry, they were known to off-screen, and it clicked. Remain close. Both men were respected due to their strong guy personas and long careers. Fans loved seeing them together, but behind the scenes, tension started to construct. It's unrelated to techniques or scripts. Money is involved. That there was tension during making, and it would be different with Expendables 3, their lifelong companionship. $1 million dispute that ended everything. At the time, it was time for Stallone to film The Expendables. 3 wanted to bring back the former squad, involved getting in touch with Bruce Willis. Again, he offered him $3 million in exchange for AA. Few working days. Willis, however, wasn't happy to accept the offer. Apparently, he wanted $4 million or another $1 million. However, Stallone found it too much. He noted it is illogical, especially for the simple reason that Stallone spent a few days on the set before leaving, silent. Instead, he headed straight to, he posted on Twitter saying, being lazy and avaricious is a definite way to Bruce was not mentioned as a professional failure, by name, yet everyone knew who he was talking about. It was clear that the message was intended for Willis. The message startled the fans and the headlines came soon after. People was surprised to hear that 2 friends were departing so freely. Shortly afterward, Stallone Harrison replaced Bruce Willis, Ford. The remark was loud and obvious. There was no room for negotiation. This move added fuel to the flames. The feuds were no longer only based on money. It was about pride, trust, and loyalty. Someone let Stallone down, and he considered a friend. Meanwhile, Bruce Willis never gave a public response to the tweet that Stallone posted. He took a step without a word away from the project. Some claim that he wanted to look into a number of roles. Some believed the money to be the real issue. And it wasn't the first time either. Willis had turned Stallone away. Furthermore, Stallone had asked him to join the escape plan. Television series, however, Willis declined. Instead, Arnold Schwarzenegger played a role in Bruce was the original recipient. The film ultimately became a $122 franchise. Million. Stallone went on again, without him. It seems that although the friendship had ended, time possesses the capacity to change things. Observing Willis and Stallone's falling out didn't say much, but that made a 1 year later. In 2014, Stallone started Twitter again, this time to encourage peace. He apologized for the hurtful comments and confirmed that he and Willis had made up. The fans were relieved that the bond between 2 action stars was restored. However, in 2022, the Globe got some terrible facts. Bruce Willis was declared to have aphasia. The state affected his ability to speak, write, they possessed language understanding. His family uploaded the data on the internet and claimed that he would stop performing. It was a gloomy time for Hollywood, and the local fans, the whole globe. Stallone was deeply touched. In an interview, he said, Bruce is going through some really difficult times. He's been rather in communication. That's truly killing me, unhappy. Although they didn't say anything, Stallone expressed his worry about Willis. He gave him a compliment and extended an invitation, support for his family. He stated that wishing and praying for Bruce's success would withstand everything with fortitude. It was a touching moment. Supporters could see that, regardless of what happened between them in the past, was irrelevant now. Their relationship had survived the worst. Nevertheless, there is still more to the story. Stallone, in addition to from rivals to fans, Willis was watching return. It's challenging to ignore how different their trajectories diverged well before the Stallone actually had Expendables, refused to appear in Die as John Hard. In that role, Bruce Willis developed into identifiable brand. After that, Willis's career flourished, and he became one of the most well-known 90s action stars and the 2000s. On the other hand, Stallone had established a reputation with Rocky and Rambo, though he admitted that Willis had a certain quality, which is what made their close bond. Both of them understood the importance of climbing to the on top. Nevertheless, businesses could challenge even the strongest ties. The money discussion about the three of the Expendables ruined their friendship. Badly. Stallone was a jerk in public, and Willis retreated a step, but time softened. The fury. Stallone later asserted that he regretted how he handled it. In addition, he acknowledged Willis's medical conditions with nothing but love. He told he still believes that the Hollywood Reporter often, even if they can't, talk about Bruce, but now talk. It's very sad, he said. Kills me. Stallone is still alive in 2025 to express admiration for Bruce. He reveals updates, offers assistance, and honors the fun times they had together. Despite the fact that they're no longer working together, their friendship has changed into anything more reserved, thoughtful, and polite. In the end, their story is more complex than only movies. It centers on two characters who encountered fame, failure, and forgiveness, and made use of it to stay in touch. All of it. Do you think that Sylvester Stallone was power to openly denounce Bruce Willis over money? In addition, which pair of actions? Do you Stallone by himself, or Stallone with Willis Schwarzenegger too? Share your thoughts with us below in the remarks area. Additionally, keep in mind to select subscribe, like, and keep watching. For more incredible stories from Hollywood's fascinating past, see you the next time.